Hi all, welcome back to my channel. This is Connie, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back. You're looking at my kitchen ceiling because this thing is coming down today and a new one is going up. So let's find out what might be up there. We are starting with covering the cabinets the best we can so everything can stay as clean as possible. Plus, we will be moving out the island as well. Welcome to Take Down the Ceiling Day. Finally is here. This ceiling has been needing to be taken down for quite some time now. We got everything taped up to protect the counters the best we can. We got the islands moved out of here and we are ready to do this. Hopefully we have everything that we need and hopefully there is no big surprises up in the ceiling because we don't have a clue. So let's go ahead and find out. Okay, the first thing he has to do is take down these beams. They're pretty much, are they decorative or are they support beams? They're just decorative, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, decorative and somewhat of a support as it holds this place better. Because they're stapled in place.
Okay. All right. Success. We have success. First board down. All right. Here's the screw that was holding it up. He says it's called a figure 8 because that's kind of bit it took to get it out. So, just so you know, this is a 1970 mobile home, in case you're new here. And they used all kinds of weird things back in the day when they built these things. So sometimes it takes a minute to try to figure out the right tool to use. But he's getting it. If you guys can see this, this is what the bit looks like. It's kind of, there we go. Can you see that? We've already went through, this is actually the second one. So, and we still have that last one to take down. There's only a couple of those screws in this one that he's working on. So it won't be as bad. There's that. He's got one side. Since it's messed up in the middle, the screws are already out of it. He just has the ends. So now he's working on the second one over there. Okay, here is the issue. Right here, we have that problem. This is why the ceiling is coming down today. Because it's just way past time to get it done. And once he gets up there, he will probably, well, it's from the beam that's broken up there, right? That's causing that?
The truss up there.
The truss up there. So once he gets that truss up taken care of and all this old insulation and stuff out of there, then this should clear up the problem. But years ago, when my dad lived here, he paid a neighbor to come down here and fix the roof. And unfortunately, the guy wasn't a professional. And when he was up on the roof, he stepped on the truss and he broke it. So this has been broken for about 12 years, 13 years. I don't even know at this time. Could have been longer than that. And it's just gotten worse over the years. And, you know, life gets in the way of getting things done around the house and takes money and, you know, all that. So we decided that this is the year to finally get it taken care of. So that is why we are working on it now. And then it's something that we don't have to worry about later on. And it's a little worse than what I thought it was, but it's going to look so much better when it's done. So let's keep going. Okay, he's going to explain what he just did.
I had to cut through the ceiling so I can drop it down because the cabinets are built over the ceiling, well, underneath the ceiling.
What tool did you just use for that?
A Dremel. Multi-max.
Want to show it to him? That's what it looks like. And he just used that to cut the ceiling away from the cabinets in the soffit.
Yep.
All right. This is the staples that are in there holding it up. So that's the next thing he is going to do, is take the staples out. And he's just using a pair of needle nose pliers, it looks like. Keep an eye on what happens with the ceiling when he takes the staples out. Oh boy. I just seen it lower a little bit. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. It just fell some more. Because those staples are out and there is nothing holding it. There's plastic. This is what is holding the plastic up. So these big long staples. Alrighty, this is what that one looked like. This is the one that was all falling down. So that came down in pieces. We're just going to burn this stuff because it's easy to burn. And he is getting ready to get the other ones down. And then once he gets up there, we will be able to find out exactly how bad this is. he got the plastic down. That is out of here. And it did have some black mold on it, but we treated that first and then he took it out of here. Now he is just stabilizing the wood piece right now. So it pretty much doesn't fall down.
Yeah, I'm using deck screws
At this
here,
moment.
so it's not going to rust.
Those are coming down too, right? These ones that are rotted.
These?
Yeah.
That is that cardboard stuff. That's coming down too. The insulation runs underneath it. I did spot a hole up here that's outside from when it dropped down.
Yeah.
And it's a really tiny hole. Surprising it didn't leak when it rained, but I found it.
All right, so that old insulation is coming down.
Yeah, I got this one down, that one down. This is still good. So I got enough to run for these two areas. This is still good. Nothing's wrong with it. No black mold on it.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, the insulation doesn't look like it's in horrible condition.
no.
And there was no leaks on this side. This is coming down, but he wanted to deal with this over here first. That is old insulation. We do have more insulation that he picked up that he's going to use to replace that.
There's that gap right there from the side.
Okay.
I'm cutting these staples up here that are going into the wood so I can bring it up and then I can reattach the top piece with this lower piece with the screw going through here into the wood. That'll secure it better. But I am going to put a 2x4 going across it though. It's broke off too.
And the reason this, I said this at the beginning, the reason this is broken is because somebody was fixing a roof back when my dad was living here. He always did everything cheaply. I guess that's where I get it from. And they broke it. And he just never had it fixed for some reason or another. And it kind of fell on our shoulders when I inherited this place. And we just didn't have time, money to do it. And now we do. And I'm glad that we're doing it when we are. Because it could have easily fell on our head. Easily. Because you guys seen it. It was only being held up by 2 screws. The rest of it was apart. So that looks like the main part that you have to work on. Is that your main issue?
This one, and this one.
Okay.
I'm using the jack to support it up so I can actually make it nice and tight and I can get everything done and I don't have to worry about it sagging no more.
Okay.
Wood.
Is it as bad as you thought? Not as bad?
Not as bad.
Not as bad.
So I just got to fix like over here too. The section dropped down too.
Okay.
All because they walked on top.
Yep.
That's why there's a slight bow right there.
That's why when you guys are having work done on your trailers or you're doing it, you have to be very careful where you step on the ceiling because it can cause this. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Have somebody that knows what they're doing. Because it can cause a major problem later on, like it has with us. That's what it looks like so far. So I'll check back in. Okay, he's noticing more oddities, I guess you could say. Shoddy craftsmanship. There is a board right here, if you can see where my finger is, that is not attached to anything. He thinks they did it for spacing.
Yeah, because it wasn't. They put it up there because it has too much of a gap, so that's why they put that up there.
So that's pretty much shoddy craftsmanship. Cheap?
Yep. Cheaply made.
Cheaply made. All right, what you just seen is he's stabilizing those boards so they don't bow down. Now, I will tell you guys that depending on the manufacturer of the mobile home, your ceiling might look different. My husband has watched different videos of mobile homes and their ceilings being torn down and all that, and they're different than ours, even though they're the same year. It just depends on your mobile home manufacturer. So you could watch ours and then you could get up in your ceiling. So you have a 1970 mobile home and you could get up in your ceiling and it could be totally different. It just depends on the manufacturer of the mobile home and how they did everything. Now, they did a really shoddy job on this mobile home, but that was back in the 70s when things weren't as strict as they are now. He's pretty much stabilized the roof or the beams to where they will not sag. That's pretty much what he's doing. In some videos, you'll see people actually tear down all these boards and start completely fresh. That's not in our budget. You have to remember we're just two normal people trying to make our roof not fall in on us. So we are doing this on a budget, and so far it seems to be working the way he had hoped it would work. It's a slow process, but it's something that has to be slow. That way you know that you are doing it properly. And what kind of screws are you using?
Decking screws.
Okay, he's using decking screws. So, you know, if they're stable on a deck, they're going to be fine on a ceiling.
They won't rust.
Yeah, and they won't rust. Which, if they do rust, then we have a bigger problem than what we thought. He is going to see if he's got that stabilized. So he is going to bring the jack down and take that board down, and we'll see what happens. I didn't see it move, so I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yep. No
Perfect.
tight.
It's no longer tight up there. So it did what he was hoping it would do. Now, take all of this, what we're doing, with a grain of salt. We are, like I said, and I'm going to keep telling you this throughout the video, we're not professional. I'm hoping that you could at least maybe learn a little something from this process. Anything you want to add at this moment?
Well, you pretty much covered it. Take your time. Figure out how you're going to get it done.
Yeah, because they're each one of them different, apparently.
Yep.
Depends on the manufacturer.
Yep.
And there was a lot of mobile homes made in the 70s, so that's why you see so many. It's just the cheapest way to live, but unfortunately, some of the manufactured or the mobile homes companies, they just did what they could to get them out as fast as they could. And I'm very glad that they actually put the laws into place now and the specs and everything that they do for the newer mobile homes. I don't know if they're much better than what they were in the 70s. I couldn't tell you that much, but I'm sure things have much improved over the years. I would hope so anyway. Now, as far as the roof goes, you can see the roof, right?
Yeah.
And that looks...
Everything looks good. I see a little tiny pinhole up there. That's it. Everything else looks good.
Okay. So he sees a little pinhole up in the roof, which the roof is about ready to have another coat put on it. So that is on our bucket list this season as well. But that's not a big deal.
Patch it up with something small right now and then resell it later.
Yeah, he can patch it up now just to make sure that no water comes through. But once he goes to reseal the roof again, it should take care of that, hopefully. Because it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Since maybe it was last resealed. And that's another thing that you have to keep up on. But, you know, you do what you can when you can with what you have. So I will be back with more updates. All right, y'all. He got the rest of the ceiling down. He did learn something. Tell them what you learned.
There's tar up there. I don't know why. I think they used to seal the metal roof up there when they were installing it. Because it's all over the boards. There's plenty of tar on there from them putting the roof on there. Probably secure it in place and sealing it when they put it on the trusses up on top. And they got all over the plastic and the boards.
So what we thought was mold could have not even been mold. It could have been just tar.
Yes.
But we took the precautions in case it was mold with our PPE masks and things like that. But just so you guys know, it's a possibility that that was not black mold up there. Because it was on this side as well, and there is no leaks on this side. So, more than likely, it was tar when they did the roof. Okay, I wanted to give you guys an up-close look at this. We don't know if it's tar or maybe an adhesive. We've been trying to look at it and trying to maybe figure it out. There's become so many questions and not enough answers on this mobile home. So, if anybody knows, let me know down in the comments. Because I'm thinking that if it's tar coming from the roof, it's not going to come down this way and then go under. You know what I mean? It would either stop or it would keep dripping. It's not going to go underneath. So, as we were talking, we are thinking more that it might be some sort of adhesive that they use to hold the ceiling up before they stapled it in place. So it's quite the mystery, and I'm sure it's not going to be one that is solved unless one of you guys can help us solve it. So tell me in the comments below what you think or even what you know. Okay, he was able to get the board all the way across. And he tested it with the other board and it lays flat. So that means he did something right. We just need to make sure that the drywall is going to lay flat against the wall. Because drywall is a bit heavier than the ceiling that was up there, right?
Yeah.
How thick was that ceiling that was up there? Do you know?
Half inch.
And the drywall is?
Half inch. Just different material. One's like a fiberboard, and the other one is like chalk, basically.
Yeah, because it just cracked right in half when we were putting in garbage. So, but drywall is a little bit heavier than what was up there, so he wanted to make sure that it was going to be able to brace and that it doesn't fall down. Day one is done. The new insulation that he wanted to put up is up. We only went through one roll. We still have a second roll that we're going to save for another project. So he bought extra boards and he bought extra insulation. And he only used like 1.5 boards and one roll of insulation. So that's pretty awesome. Yes, he had ran into several problems, but it could have been way worse than what it was. So tomorrow he is going to go pick up the lift for the drywall and we will be putting the drywall up. So make sure you stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome back. It's day 2 and he's already been hard at work this morning. He decided that he's going to put up extra boards up there just to make sure it's sturdy enough to hold everything. This side is already sturdy, but he just wanted to make sure and reinforce that side Then he went out and picked up the lift for the drywall. It come in 2 pieces, that piece and this piece here. It cost us $50 to rent it for the weekend. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow they're closed, so he has to take it back on Monday morning. Otherwise, I think they charge him for another day. But we can already tell a difference in how cool it is in here. It is extremely hot outside, and just this extra insulation they added, and new insulation, just makes it feel so much cooler. And we're supposed to get up to over 100 with the humidity today, so we're very thankful to be working on the inside. So today's agenda is wiring. He is going to be doing that for our pot lights and the pendant light that's going over our island. And so he's going to approximately put a pot light there, one in the middle and one over here. And then he is going to also put a pot light over there by the door, because we don't have any light in this room here. So the pot light by the door, we're actually going to point it in that direction. He was going to put a light in there, and I told him just put it over here for now. We're going to work on that room on another day once we figure out what we want to do with it. That is what is on the agenda today, and then he's going to put up the drywall. And then we also need to mud that and paint it, and then it'll probably be not until tomorrow when he can hang the lighting and all that. So that's what's on the agenda today. So make sure that you stay tuned, and let's get going.
So I can curl it up and then...
Okay, what he did was he's starting the wiring. So he tapped into the light that's above the sink, and then he's bringing the wiring over here. He's starting with the pendant light that is going to hang over the island. So I trust him on the wiring. He did my whole shed. He knows what he's doing on that one. Thank God. The wire that he's working on now, that was already here. That is one that goes to the patio, and it was just hanging down. They didn't even tap it up or anything. So he just put that up so it won't be hanging down all over the place.
Okay.
Alright, so he has all 3 wires hanging down, and those are ready for the pot lights. So he has one here, he has one there, and then he has one down there. And then he has the one for the pendant light. And he's just pretty much attaching the wires together. Here he is putting the lift together, well worth the $50, because it will make it much easier to put the drywall on the ceiling. We almost forgot to put the plastic up, so we figured we better do that real quick. Alright, y'all. That was not fun, but I'm glad I remembered to do it. I'm going to tell you what. It is really hot above that insulation. So even though we're moving around in here and we're sweating, it has got to be probably 50 degrees or higher up there. This insulation is definitely working. That part's done. It's going to do the drywall next.
Yeah, because when I move this over, put the other piece of drywall back here, that's when I put the plastic. 1, 2, 3, up.
I think I can do more on my side.
Yeah. There we go. Even. Good.
More on my side. Oh, no.
Should be fine.
That board is up. Ryder, what are you doing? The cat was enjoying the outdoors in this heat, and she was hiding underneath the chair. Even though she can go inside anytime she wants to, she'd much rather be out here. Hi everybody, welcome back to day 3 of kitchen remodel. Here I am just mudding the ceiling where the screws are. I wanted to make myself feel useful because there was not a whole lot in this job that I could do. So he gave me the job of just mudding the screws for right now. He is finishing up the drywall on the ceiling. Unfortunately, the lift that we rented does not have an extension to go over the sink. So he's having to cut pieces out, and I can help him do the small pieces, but bigger pieces, there is just no way that I can do that. I am not a young puppy anymore, and I just don't have the upper body strength, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I can do it because I just couldn't. So he's cutting them down. I am helping him put them up, and as long as they're small, I have no problem doing that. But once they get into the larger pieces, that is where we run into a problem. And fortunately, we did pay $50 for that lift, and it only was used twice. But it was well worth that $50 to me. So I'm just finishing up mudding the screws, and then the next thing you should see us probably do is taping up the seams and mudding that. So if you've made it this far into the video, make sure that you give me a thumbs up and subscribe and comment down below that you've made it to day 3. Thanks for watching. Okay, we're going to test his work real quick and see how well he did. Before, I was not able to open this cabinet any further than that, pretty much. Now, I can open it all the way, and it doesn't scrape the ceiling. That makes me happy. Drywall is patched up. Seams are taken care of. He just finished a little bit back there. But there we go. The next step will be to sand it when it dries, and then you have to put another coat over it. And then we'll get to paint. While this is drying, he is going to put holes in the ceiling for all our lights. He is using this hole saw that he bought. How much was this?
$12.
About 12 bucks. And it just attaches to his drill, and it'll make the perfect hole that he needs for the lights. Okay, he made a mark on the floor where he's standing, so he knows approximately where to drill that hole. Let's hope it's correct.
No wire.
Okay, perfect. And there he goes. There's the perfect hole, and his wires right there. So he'll just be able to pull that down, and after we paint, he will be able to run the wire to our lights. All right, he got that one out. That took a minute because apparently we were a little off when we made the hole, but he was able to reach it and pull it out. Welcome to DIY. Okay, everybody, he got the ceiling sanded and all the seams taken care of. I think he just has to sand in a couple more spots, but I'm going to go ahead and start painting because once the ceiling is painted, we can hang the lights and then we're done. I forgot to mention that the color I'm using is just pure white, nothing fancy. Hi everybody, it is day 4, final day. I am getting ready to roll the ceiling, get that painted, and then he is going to hang the lights. So if you've made it this far, make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe. So let's get this done. Alright you guys, this is what we purchased. We actually got these at a yard sale, I believe, last year, or maybe even the year before that. And we ended up picking up 5 or 6 of them. And I think we only paid maybe $5 for all of them, $1 a piece, I want to say. It wasn't much. And he tested them the other day to make sure that they work, and they do. They were actually brand new and never been used. So we paid $1 a piece, $5 for all 5. The ceiling is painted and we are in the home stretch. This is the last thing that needs to be done is the lights, and that is what he is working on. Shortly after this, when he's done with that, we're going to test the lights, and then I will give you a final overview of everything that we did. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've made it this far, might as well wait a few more minutes because we're almost done. Comment installing in the comments. That way I know that you've made it. We're done. Thank God. My husband got the lighting put up. It all works. It is evening time. It is bright in here, and I am absolutely loving it. Loving it. We are both exhausted. Not only were we busy, it was very, very hot this weekend. So, up over 100 with humidity. And even though we have central air, you can still feel the humidity in here. And we were both sweating. I hope you guys can hear me okay, because I seem to have lost my microphone when I was cleaning. So, he got the lights done, and I cleaned up the kitchen. We got it put back together. And are you guys ready for a tour? Okay. First, before we get to that, I'm going to give you a cost breakdown of everything, including decorating the kitchen, the paint, and all the decor that I did in my part 1 video. If you didn't see that, go back and watch it. But this includes that, okay? Now, our budget for this kitchen remodel was $500. Okay. And we shop at Menards, so we get rebates as well, and we always have a rebate on us, so we use that for our purchases and stuff. So this is without the rebate costs and all that, because I didn't keep track of all that. This is just a rough estimate, and some of these things I got at yard sales, some with stuff we had on hand, but 6 pieces of drywall he picked up in case he needed extra. We used 5. Those were $9.88 a piece, and since we only used 5, it cost $49.40. He picked up 2 things of insulation. They're $23.97 each. He only had to use 1. He picked up 6 2x4s. We only used 4. That's $3.64 each, for a total of $14.56, just what we used. The drywall screws were $8.69, and he has a ton of them left. Paint was $12.49 for the ceiling, and I still have quite a bit left. The pot lights I purchased at a yard sale or a garage sale a couple years ago, I think we determined. And I had 5 of those. We put in 4, so cost was $4 if you want to count that. But since it was a couple of years ago, that's up to you. The cage light here cost me $5. Bought that at Amazon Ben store, and I actually had that for sale in my eBay store. Nobody bought it, so I grabbed it out of my inventory, and we're using it. Let's see, the plastic that we used to cover everything, the insulation and everything, was $37.97 for a huge roll. Still got a ton left. The mud that he used for the drywall $8.69 for a bucket. The face mask, the PPE mask, was $24.97. The drywall bits that he bought was $7.97, reusable, of course. The drywall screws was a big box for $8.69. Ton of those left. The drywall, deck screws for 2x4s. The screws he used in deck screws was a box for $32.97, and he still has a crap ton of those left. And then we rented the drywall lift for $50. That is a full total of $310.85. That was just for this project that you guys seen this weekend. Now, for part one that I did when I was decorating, the kitchen decor wallpaper that I used was $17.99 on Amazon, and I still have a little bit left, not much. The vinyl stickers that I put behind the stove were $24.99, and I still have about 10 of those left. The paint, the cream paint that I used on around the cabinets, that was free at a garage sale. The decor, approximately $25, all bought at yard sales and garage sales. And the dishwasher cover here was off Amazon for $37.75. Oh, and I forgot to say, the wiring was free. We already had that on hand. And the part one kitchen was $105.73. So if you total those both up, for a total of $416.58. So we actually came in under budget. Because like I said, our budget was $500. So I am very happy with the way everything has come out. And it was a lot of work and it was a lot of heat, but it was well worth it, and I knew it would be. And he's exhausted, I'm exhausted, I'm still hot. But without further ado, let me show you. All right, here we are. As you can see, he put a pot light there, and one at the hallway. And then this is the cage light I was talking about that I had bought from Amazon. Ben's, and didn't sell. It was in my barn for months and just didn't sell. This part up there that you see, that was actually brown, and since I was up there, I decided to just go ahead and paint it. This here is where the old ceiling meets the new ceiling. I would eventually like to find something flat to put up there to kind of break up, cover those seams up, but I'm perfectly happy with it. And then we also have a pot light there. So we have the 4 pot lights and the cage light over the island, which makes it so much brighter in here. And then if you watched my part 1 kitchen decorate with me, I did not finish the soffit area. I finished that today. I went ahead and did it. I just added the same wallpaper as I used on my cabinets down there. And then this farm charm I picked up at a church sale for like $3. So I added that up there. If you're interested in any of the other stuff I have hanging or on the counters, that's in my other video. And I do a cost breakdown on that. But these plates right here belong to my mother. I kept some of her stuff, and I happened to find these plates. I knew I wanted to do that, and yeah, those are hers. So that's kind of a nod to her, considering this was her kitchen. We did just eat dinner, so we are still real life here. You've seen me, if you watched my last video, you've seen me installing all that backsplash back there. But yeah, I am extremely ecstatic over these lights, and it's going to make it is so much nicer in here to film for one, and just to work and do what I need to do. The funny thing of it is earlier I was in here cleaning up, and I kept thinking I had to turn off the hallway light because of this light here. I'm not used to it. So I like how it brightens this up area, because, you know, this is the only area that I have yet to do, and this is going to be in its own video, separate. So I think I've finally decided what to do with that, and it's going to get painted and stuff. But as far as the kitchen goes, this is the only area that needs to be done. That's it. But yeah, it was a long, tedious project, but you know what? I have no more sagging ceiling. We do see the seam a little bit right there, the tape, but you know what? It's not sagging. It's not yellow anymore. So I did miss a couple of spots, but you know, it is what it is. We're not perfect here, but I'm just gonna give you, come back here and kind of give you, see, I can kind of give you an overview here of what it all looks like now. So I am beyond excited for this. I think he did a fabulous job. It was a lot of work, and mostly done by himself because there wasn't a whole lot I could do. So he was a trooper. He got through it. We're still married. We didn't get a divorce. You know, you kind of think about that when you start projects like this. But for the most part, we work well together. If anybody has a short fuse, that would be me. Especially in the heat. I don't like heat. I love spring, but not summer. But, yep, here we go. This is what we've been waiting for throughout the whole video. We have no more sagging ceiling. We have no more yellow spots. I'm ecstatic. So, all right, you guys, I have taken up way too much of your time. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. And stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for watching and sticking in with me. Bye.